Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I'm going to show you a boatload of cards. I've been playing with my mini one sheet wonder number 12. It's been a hot minute since I've put out a new mini one sheet wonder, but I just released the video a couple days ago showing how to cut 3 sheets of 6x6 pattern paper to create 4 different layouts. But this sketch, if you follow it, will actually yield 8 cards. And I actually have 2 full sets of 8 cards to show you in today's video because I crafted with both papers. I couldn't just pick between them, I had to do them both. So I've got a set from Woodland Christmas and I have a set of 8 from Frosted and Fabulous. So let me first show you Woodland Christmas because I followed the sketches and the mini one sheet wonder a little bit more closely with this particular paper pad, which is part of this month's subscription box from Not Too Shabby. So the first sketch is actually a take off of my mosaic recipe card. So that's another theme or category of videos that I put out is recipe card videos, which are basically just, simple supplies, a really easy technique that you can adapt. It's really easy to remember, and you just kind of adapt it to fit your own taste, your own style. And the gist of it is that, you take a card panel and then you just choose however many sheets of pattern paper you want. In this case, my recommendation to supersize mini one sheet wonder 12 is to cut it out of 3 sheets, and that will yield you 8 cards ultimately. And then with the panel, you just make the same cuts on all 3, and then you mix and match your pieces. So you get this really fun mosaic effect to it. And I use some Love from Lizzie's pinstripe stickers to really define, the borders of that mosaic. And the ephemera, of course, comes from the box of the month, and the sentiments come from the stamp sets because you get 2 stamp sets in the box of the month. So really super, super adorable. I really like it on craft also. I think I use craft cardstock on all of my cards. So that is the first sketch. The second sketch might be one of my favorites. I first saw this from another crafty friend, Terry Kellum, and I don't know if she rounded the corners and that's where I got the idea from, or if that's something I came up with. But what I did was, with each of these little squares, I just rounded the opposite diagonal corners just to give it like a little bit of a softer look. Technically there are 12 squares here because that's what the sketch the cutting guide will yield, is 12 of these little squares, but I'm covering 2 of them up with the sentiment here. And my second set, I'll show you another take on this where you can actually see all 12, so you can really appreciate it a little bit better. The last 4 cards are actually a play on another recipe card, all centered around playing with strips of papers. So sketch number 3, you can play with these strips in a number of different ways, but if you're following the actual sketch, it will yield 3 that are a little bit similar to what you see here. So these first 2, again, I use Love from Lizzie's pinstripe stickers to border each of the strips. And then that way you have like a really well-defined pattern there. And this one, instead of using the Love from Lizzie's pinstripe stickers, I just left a gap when I adhered it down. So sometimes the gap gives you a craft color border, and then sometimes it gives you a white border. So I kind of like the look of that. So lots of different ways you can play with just plain old strips of paper. This is a great scrap buster if you're down to just, these are just 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch strips. And you can really make that almost kind of the star of your card, whatever pattern you want to create out of it. So that's the next 3 cards. And The last card, again, is another way to just play with some strips, because the last set of papers left over are just these 3/4 inch strips. But you can see once you get those Love from Lizzie pinstripe stickers through there, it looks so lovely. And of course, the papers are so beautiful in both paper pads. You really can't go too wrong when you're picking. But what's nice about using double-sided pattern papers is you can always kind of mix and match, flip front to back, and give yourself a lot of different choices and variations that way. So again, that's just another example of one way that you can play with just plain old strips of paper. So that is my first set from Woodland Christmas. Now let's look at the next set from Frosted and Fabulous. So here I've got my 3 mosaic cards, and if you look at these first 2, they feature kind of like how I showed this first one with the Woodland Christmas. It's the same 3 patterns, you just mix and match them so that you get a different combination. But as I was saying, double-sided papers are really great, so you can always flip to the back and have a different look. And it would be mirrored because we're flipping to the back, so now this piece goes over here, and that piece goes there, and then that piece goes there. So when you are picking your papers, you might want to consider, how do these 3 go together on the one side, but then flip them all to the back and see if they look good together that way as well, so that you can have more options. Now you can't mix and match with mosaics where you take, the back piece of this and you mix it with the front of that. So you kind of have to use them as a set, but it does give you more variation and just another look if you want it. So those are the mosaic cards from Frosted and Fabulous. Here's the tiled card, where here you can actually see all 12 tiles, and because it's double-sided paper that I'm using, I sometimes use the front, sometimes use the back. So you actually see more than just the 3 patterns, which is different from this card. So in this first one, you can see those are the same, the green is the same, and then the sort of the white holly one, those are all the same. So I stuck to just the 3 patterns. But here, you can, since all of these little tiles are square, you can flip to the back and have even more variation on the pattern. So I really, really love doing that and how that turned out, because of course these papers are so well designed and curated. Everything's going to look beautiful together, and this is definitely a really nice scrap buster too, because these squares are only 1.25-inch square. So that is my tiled one. And then looking at the strip cards that are based on strips, here's another look at, this is the basic sketch. So here again, I just left a gap, but it's just a gap of white in between. Here is a very different take on strips. I just took the 1/4-inch strip and I laid it on top of the 1/2-inch strip, and then I just kind of crisscrossed them. So it's the same pieces. I didn't use them, quite all of them, but I just tiled them and laid them out a little bit differently. So because I didn't use all of the strips, I was left with one extra leftover 1/4-inch strip. So I just added it to this layout. So this, I just have all different patterns just laid out. And it's kind of fun to just stack them just like that. But you could do, of course, something similar to what I did on the Woodland Christmas, where you divide them with the Love from Lizzie's pinstripe stickers. But if your papers are different enough and they're distinguishable from one another, you don't necessarily need to do that, and you can still kind of appreciate the variation in the pattern there. And then my final card is the very clean and simple one, where it's just these 3 leftover strips and lots of white space. So I'm starting to get more comfortable with leaving all of this white space and having a sketch layout like this that really encourages you to like use all, because you end up with no scraps at the end of this, except for whatever gets trimmed off of these diagonal pieces. And so it really is nice to have both a no scrap project when you're done, and as well, for me anyhow, get me a little bit more comfortable with clean and simple and with leaving a lot of negative or white space. So that is a look at both sets of my mini one sheet wonder number 12, featuring this month's papers from the Not Too Shabby box of the month. If you're looking for more inspiration from this month's subscriptions, that's the Paper Pad Club, the Stamp of the Month, and the Box of the Month, just expand the description box below and you're going to find a playlist where the designers on the team have all put their videos so that you can check out even more inspiration. I'm going to leave everything, links to all the products and to my mini one sheet wonder in that description box as well. And then of course there's always the $25 giveaway that Jamie offers. So in order to enter for a chance to win a gift voucher to shop at the Not Too Shabby shop, then you'll want to expand that description box and enter your information into the giveaway form. Thanks so much for hopping by, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.